Hi, I'm Ashley. This is Life Beyond Locks, and today I'm going to be looking at the Aura topper from Uniwigs. What's really great about this review is that Uniwigs has sent me the piece for a full review, so I'm going to be able to show you how she looks straight out of the box, look at the specifications, and then I'm going to take her away and wash her and show you how she performs under a wash test. What does she really look like after she's had a good deep soak in the tub? So we're going to do all of that, but before we do, I do want to thank Uniwigs for sponsoring this video and for giving me an opportunity to really voice my honest opinions and really have time to work with the piece to give you that honest review. So thank you to Uniwigs, because they do value your opinion and my opinion, and they want us to have informed decisions to make before making a purchase. So thank you to Uniwigs, and let's jump into it. This piece is a 7.5 by 7.5 inch topper. If you're not fully familiar with what a topper is, stick around, because when I take it off, you'll have a better sense. But what that means is that it's 7.5 inches across in the width and 7.5 inches across in the length. So if you take a measuring tape and you put it on your own head, you'll have a really good sense of exactly where those clips are going to clip in on your own head. In terms of her features, I have her in the 18-inch length, and Uniwigs is always very, very generous with their lengths. So this is definitely a lot longer than 18 inches, and I think it looks beautiful. The color that I have on is Truffle Brown. It's not the perfect match for me. I actually have a very ashy bio hair, and so I tend to go for mousse brown. It has a little bit more dimension and it helps me to conceal the ashy bio hair underneath. But if you're looking for a really beautiful, rich, medium brown, this is your color, Truffle Brown. I believe the color is 210, and it is just so rich and beautiful. I have many times considered dyeing my bio hair to match it because I like it so much. And if you're going into the world of toppers, you might want to consider doing that, is getting your piece, taking it to your stylist if you do have a stylist, and asking them to dye your bio hair to match the topper for a really seamless, easy blend. So this is the color Truffle Brown. Other features that I absolutely love in this Upgrade Aura is the face framing layers that it comes with. So I don't know if you can catch them here, but it has a very long curtain bang cut right into it. And as somebody who doesn't have a stylist in her hometown that she can trust with her toppers, I love getting pieces that come pre-cut, because it means that I can take them out of the box and I can wear them out of the house the same day. I don't need to worry about taking them to a stylist. I don't need to worry about trusting somebody to cut my brand new piece that I've just invested in. So Uniwigs has been responding really very much to the feedback that they're getting from their clients and from their education ambassadors, and they know that we like the pre-cut, the face framing layers, and so they've responded and they've added that to a number of their pieces, including this Upgrade Aura. So I'm very, very pleased about that. You're going to see that this is Burmese hair, and so once it washes, it's going to take on a lighter, fluffier texture that also has a wave. You'll be able to style the hair so that the wave can be removed, but it's also going to allow, as someone with curly bio hair, I know that you can style it very easily as well to take on a loose wave. So you'll be able to really fluff out these curtain bangs and create that feathered look that's so popular right now, if that's something that you want to do. So I think it's a great cut, and it's pretty, it's pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Forgiving in the rest of it. So you've got long layers in the back, but the front is just sort of like a universally flattering cut. So I think you'll be able to do a lot with it. If you want to keep it smooth and sleek, you can also do that with the flat iron after washing it. Okay, let's take a look at the cap, because it is a cap construction that I have never experienced in my life before. So this is a skin top, and they say that it's sort of a realistic looking scalp, which I agree. If I get really close to the camera here, it reminds me a lot of a silk top, but it is crafted slightly differently. It's not going to have the same durability as the silk top that you get with, let's say, Uniwigs Savannah, but it is going to give you that same look. And of course, all of my pieces from Uniwigs are reasonably long lasting. I still have my first one from August of 2022, so I'm not worried about the longevity, but it does give you that slightly more budget-friendly option if you like the look of a silk top, but you want to have the affordability in there. It is 110% density, and I think that that is a good density for somebody who has mild to moderate hair loss. You will see that at the back, and don't mind my hair at the back because it's a little bit wavy. I didn't straighten it all the way. So I don't know if you could see there my own bio hair poking through. That does mean that with the 110% density, you are going to have to make sure that you style your bio hair and that your bio hair gets matched to the topper, but easily fixed if I just took a flat iron to my bio hair and if it was a better color match for me. So it's a lighter density. That means less coverage, but it also means it's a really good entry piece. So if you're new to the world of toppers, the probably scariest thing is having a whole lot of hair on your head right away, even though it might be desirable looking inside from the outside. But when you first put on a lot of hair, it can be very overwhelming, at least it was for me. So a light density and getting it properly blended with your bio hair will certainly help to ease you into the world of alternative hair. So this is going to be a really good piece for those of you who are just starting to wear alternative hair, who want to have a realistic looking scalp, but also who live in environments that are really hot because it is lightweight and very breathable. Because it is lightweight, you have lots of movement underneath for your bio hair. You can even pull it back, do a light ponytail, put it in a claw clip, and allow that airflow on your neck that you might need depending on your environment. All right, shall we take a look at the inside of the cap? Let's do it. So I've only clipped it in at the very front, but if you want to, and I would recommend that you do use more than 2 clips, you are able to clip it all the way around. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips along the perimeter of the topper, and we also have a comb, which I don't believe was in the original Aura. I personally think a comb is a really great feature to have at the front rather than a clip. These hairs for me, I'm sure you can see, are few and far between, and this area is also very sensitive for me. And so if I had to have one of these types of clips, the pressure clips in the front, I just wouldn't be using it at all. I generally don't use the comb a whole lot because, again, I have pretty sensitive skin here, but I do use it very lightly often just to get that extra grip. So I love the addition of a comb. If you prefer the pressure clips, you can always insert them. Uniwigs has them available for purchase, but also you could take this out and replace it with something else like Velcro or velvet, and that would help as well with the grippiness at the front if that's something that you prefer. So we have these pressure clips all the way around the outside, and these are really good clips. These are not the aggressive kind that rip out your hair. I've heard people comment, or not heard, I've read people's comments on online groups about hair loss before and the concerns about traction alopecia. I have a whole video on that if you're interested, but these will not do major damage to your hair if you're wearing them correctly. They're really good clips, so good job to Uniwigs for picking clips that are gentle on the hair. We have a large parting area inside here. So this is 4 inches by 5 inches. So we've got 4 across by 5 deep, and that's going to allow for major parting flexibility. So you could see that I was wearing it as a center part, and I was wearing it as a very straight center part. But let me just grab a comb. But you'll see that you can part your hair actually anywhere in the area that you have that skin top. So what that means is you can do a middle part, you can do a deep right part, or a deep left part, whatever you prefer. And what I'm going to end up doing so that you can see it not just as a center part, but as a side part, is when I wash it, I'm going to move that part over either to the left side or the right side. And that's all you have to do to change your part, is get the hair wet. You don't even have to do a full wash if you don't want to. You can just spritz with a bottle of water and then move the part over and allow it to dry that way using either a hair dryer or let it air dry, but it will just move that part over so easily for you. So you have a lot of options with parting with this wide 4x5 area, which is an upgrade from the original Aura. It gives you so much more room, which I absolutely love. By the way, if you're wondering how do I typically wear mine, I'm going to go with, and you'll see this when I come back, I'm going to go with more of a zigzag part and on the side to give it the most natural look. I feel like seeing a perfectly straight line like this is a bit of a giveaway that you might be wearing alternative hair. So I like to mess it up the way a natural part line would be messed up. And I like to go with the side part to conceal my ultra thin hair at the front. So by having a side part, I can kind of hide that thin hairline, and it takes less blending to make it look natural, which is great. Okay, aside from this wide parting area, we also have a whole series of wefts. So these are pieces, strips really, of hair sewn on to give lots of movement and good coverage at the back of this topper. It's also a very flat cap. So a traditional silk top is very bulky and it really leaves a thick ridge at the front of your hairline. Now I'm still team silk top. I personally do love them because I like the natural scalp, but that was before I saw the Aura upgrade. And now that I see the Aura upgrade, she looks just like a silk part, but she has the thickness of a mono. And now that I see her, I think I maybe have been converted. We're gonna see what happens when I put her on after washing her. But she has the cap construction that is very similar in some ways in terms of the thickness here to a monofilament cap, similar to maybe Courtney if you've been looking at Courtney. So now you've got a more realistic looking scalp with a nice thin cap, which means that when you put her on, she's going to sit nice and closely to your head. And by sitting nice and closely, it looks more realistic. So sometimes with a silk top, you end up with like a little bit of a poofiness if you don't have a big enough cap, if the hair isn't sitting quite right, and that's a bit of a giveaway. But in this case, she sits so closely to my head that I really think it would take someone getting very close to me in order to see that this is not my bio hair. All right, I'm gonna go give her a wash. I'll take you along, and when we come back, we'll see how she air dries. What do you have to say to this? I mean, come on. This is so beautiful. Okay, so I washed it. I just kind of gave it a quick scrunch, threw it over a towel over the banister. That's the finished look. I didn't put anything in it. No leave-in conditioner, no curl cream, like nothing. I could work this curl even more. There's nothing in this. I washed, I deep conditioned. This is the end result. So beautiful. Okay, so obviously the hair quality is there. This is stunning. I would not be disappointed to walk down the street looking like Shakira. This is really gorgeous. So there is that. I also have to say this is my new favorite. Like I'm going to be recommending this to everybody. I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to have favorites as a Uniwigs ambassador, but I don't care. I was recommending Savannah to everybody. And then people who didn't want the silk top, I was saying Courtney. This Aura is the best of both worlds. It's lightweight. It is not a ton of hair. It fits flat to the head, but it has a realistic looking hairline or scalp, I should say. It sounds a little artificial. I don't know if you can hear that. So I guess I won't be doing this in public. But otherwise, I mean, holy cow, these waves are they're blowing my mind. This is a better wave than I had on the Courtney. Like I didn't even work the wave and it just showed up like this. So what does that mean if you want to flat iron it or you want to straighten it? You're going to have to put a little bit more work in. So you will have to probably, I'll do a trial run. I'll try to film a trial run down the line where I wash it again or I wet it again and then maybe blow dry it a little bit or use a paddle brush a little bit while I'm blow drying it and then flat iron it. Because this texture, as a girl with curly hair, you can see my own hair underneath is a bit of a mess. It was in a ponytail, so the curl's kind of gone, but I do have curly hair. So I know that if you want to really smooth out curly hair, you have to first blow dry it with either a paddle brush or a round brush if it's quite coarse and really pull that curl out and then flat iron, but it can be done. But if you have a loose wave or you've always wanted to have a loose wave, this is the piece for you. You don't have to heat style it. It just looks good just with nothing, which blows my mind. So if you have bone straight hair, you could use a crimper or you can just, when your hair is wet, put a little bit of like mousse in it or a little bit of curl cream and kind of scrunch it. And that should be enough to get your waves to match this wave. So this is Aura. If you are looking for the best of both worlds, you know, you want low density, you want a nice flat cap, but you want a realistic looking scalp, highly recommend Aura. Amazing. See you next time.